Eyewitness News 5, Sophia Asa is live on the scene. And Sophia, we're awaiting a press conference. It was set to get underway right now, and I know you're standing by learning any new details coming through. What have you heard?
Well, Jessica, we now know that this is an apparent homicide-suicide at Tinker Air Force Base. And as you mentioned, we are waiting for a press conference with Oklahoma County Sheriff John Wetzel and Colonel Mark Carell with the 72nd Air Force Air Base Wing Commander. They're going to come out and talk to us, probably give us details about what happened. What we do know is that Tinker Security Forces and Oklahoma County law enforcement were called out at 2:30 this afternoon. They responded to a domestic disturbance on military housing. Then at around 4:30, a joint response force entered the residence, the home, and found the remains of 3 people, 1 adult and 2 children. Again, this is being called a homicide-suicide at the Air Force Base, and we are waiting for military officials to come out and speak with us, Colonel Mark Carell, and then also Oklahoma County Sheriff John Wetzel. In fact, they're coming out right now to speak. Okay, this is good. We're just setting up right now. We're putting on mics and getting ready. They're about to talk to us and let us know what happened this afternoon. So it might take us just a few minutes once they get situated. We're being told that they are going to give a statement. They are not going to answer any of our questions as far as what happened this afternoon.
Sophia, as we're waiting for them to get hooked up with the mics there, I know you had been out there all afternoon as this was going on. Tell me what you saw, if you could, in the meantime, before he starts to talk. What you saw, I know one gate was on lockdown there at the base. What was the situation
Jessica,
like?
Hold on one second.
Looks like he's getting started.
Air Base Wing and Installation Commander here at Tinker Air Force Base. First, I'd like to extend our heartfelt sympathy to the family and loved ones suffering from today's tragic events, which resulted in the death of a military member and 2 children. I also want to acknowledge the tremendous response by our own security forces personnel, the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, and the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Department. As noted in our media release, Air Force policy precludes us releasing the names of deceased within 24 hours after notification of next of kin. We'll provide as much detail about the individuals as is releasable at that time. At this point, I'd like to turn the press conference over to Oklahoma County Sheriff John Wetzel, who will give you additional information.
Okay, and as we're waiting to hear from Oklahoma County Sheriff John Wetzel, again, the situation on Tinker Air Force Base, 3 people found dead, and we just heard from the colonel there that one was a military member and 2 kids. Let's listen in.
County. At about 2:30 p.m. this afternoon, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office received a call from the Tinker Security Forces requesting assistance with our tactical team in a domestic incident that was occurring in the housing area of Tinker Air Force Base. Our team arrived. At that point in time, the information that we received was that a member of the military and his ex-spouse had an altercation, that the ex-spouse had left the residence and that she had heard gunshots upon her departure from the residence. The tactical team arrived, and let me first say the tactical team today was made up of the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office, the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, the U.S. Marshal Service, Midwest City Police Department was on standby, and the exceptional work from the Tinker Security Forces who assisted on perimeter control. We had a number of law enforcement agencies working together in this operation, and it was seamless. At about 4:30 p.m., the tactical team finally made entry to the residence. Inside the residence, they found 3 bodies: the body of the man and the body of 2 children, ages 4 and 8. I can say at this point in time that there is a joint investigation ongoing between the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office and OSI, both in technical processing of the scene, which is occurring as we speak now, and then the investigative phase, which is also occurring as we speak now. I had the unfortunate duty, along with an OSI agent, to break the news of the death to the mother. And she is not responding well, as you might expect. But today, I think, was a credit at least to the service of a number of agencies working together to respond to a horrific incident that occurred today. Thank you.
Sheriff, can you tell us the gender of the kids?
At this point in time, like the Colonel said, we're not responding to any questions. We know there are still family members that have not been notified, and that's why that's all the information we're giving, period, about the victims in this incident. Thank you. No, I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What I can do for you is, once we're done here now, I'm Ralph Munson, I'm the Public Affairs Officer here. My staff is here. We've got notes. We'll be glad to take your questions individually.
Okay, you're just hearing the very latest there about the deadly situation at Tinker Air Force Base. What we just learned from law enforcement, that there was some type of altercation with a military member and his ex-wife. 2 children were inside the house, ages 4 and 8. And when she left that house, she heard those gunshots, and that is when law enforcement arrived. About 2 hours later, they went into that home, and that is when they found the 3 bodies. Again, this is a homicide, suicide, just a devastating story, especially when there's children involved. We have more crews headed to the scene. In fact, Tyler Suiters is going to be there live at 6 o'clock. So please stay right here with Eyewitness News 5. We'll keep you updated on the very latest.